What is up, guys? And yes, it's the morning after the playoff games. I apologize for not being able to post this recap after the games. I fell asleep like in the middle of the Lakers game. But everywhere on the media, they talked about what happened with LeBron, and we'll get that in a little bit. By the way, for some reason, I couldn't find my LeBron jersey before recording this, or else I'd be rocking it right now because he deserves all the respect. Um, but without further ado, we're not going to make these episodes super long because there are only a few games in these last few nights. There's only 4 games in the last 2 nights where we're usually used to like 7 or 8. And that's not going to change until Saturday. Saturday night's Saturday night's recap, not thing, is going to be really entertaining. By the way, some quick news before we get into the score. The recap. I'm on 2K right now, and the Spotlight Sims just dropped for my team a day ago, and I've already grinded a couple cards out. So tomorrow after school, when the new music is out, I'm gonna be streaming a new music Friday. It'll either be right after school or it'll be late night stream. I will be streaming me grinding Spotlight Sims while listening to new music. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, we're gonna get into the recap video. First, Grizzlies Spurs. Grizzlies squeezed past the Spurs, but Spurs put a well-rounded effort. They only lost by 4. Good for them. Let me open my phone here. Looking around here. Really good games last night. I wasn't disappointed at all. This was the most competitive night. It was exponentially more competitive than the first night of the play-in. The first night of the play-in was really basic. But yeah, Grizzlies end the Spurs season in play-in. They win it 100-96. Dillon Brooks scored 8 of his 24 points in the fourth quarter to help put Memphis ahead to stay, and the Grizzlies eliminated the San Antonio Spurs last night. In the first Western Conference play-in, they made history, I guess. Looking at the box score, DeRozan put up 20, Keldon Johnson put up 11 points, 11 boards, Jacob Poeltl put up 10 points, 10 rebounds, but it's worth noting that he had 5 blocks. The dude was all over the place. He's a really good big man, and I think he could be a most improved candidate for next season. He's got a bright future. I know he's been in the league for a decent amount of time, maybe 5 or 6 years, I'm not sure, but he has been playing really good lately. DeJounte Murray put up 10 points, 11 assists, 13 rebounds, a freaking triple-double. That's really nice to end his season. Rudy Gay put up 20 points, the vet off the bench. Possibly his last game, to be honest. I'm not sure how long Rudy Gay is going to be in the NBA. And speaking of Rudy Gay, man, he's one of the most respected players in recent NBA history. As a vet, has he won a ring? Let me look this up real quick, guys. No, he hasn't won a ring. In recent history with Melo and Chris Paul, he's one of the most respected players that hasn't won a ring. He's had a great career. Obviously, the Grizzlies playing his former team. He's one of their best players in their history. I'm gonna say it right now. He's one of the best players they've ever had when he played there. Shout out to him. Looking at the Grizzlies side, Jonas Valanciunas, my oh my, 23 points, 23 rebounds, putting up some Kevin Love type numbers. And that's kind of who he reminds me of. Prime Kevin Love on the T-Wolves. Maybe not a scorer to that extent, but these stat lines, man, it was reminding me of Kevin Love. He's such an underrated center. I should have put him way higher on my top 100. He's easily top 50 player in the league. I think I put him there. I'm not sure. John Morant put up 20, and Dillon Brooks put up 24. Wow, Dillon Brooks is having an amazing season. He could possibly even be most improved for next season. Yeah, that was that game. Let's get into the big game, the game of the night, and possibly the game of the year. I'm not going to say that because Celtics Spurs happened with a 32-point comeback and Tatum putting up 60. But, yeah, Lakers, they barely beat the Warriors. LeBron wins it. They barely beat him, but shout out to LeBron. LeBron, people are like, oh, that was a C-plus performance. I don't know what Perkins is talking about there. Triple-double is never a C-plus performance. Obviously, he probably didn't shoot too well from the field, but he won them the freaking game, so it's not a C-plus performance. classic LeBron haters, and I'll admit I've been a LeBron hater in the past, but you gotta just respect greatness. Let me open my phone and look at some of the notes for this game. LeBron's three lifts the Lakers over the Warriors. He made a long go-ahead three over Steph with 58.2 seconds remaining. Rallies them to the win. Yeah, they're in the playoffs, and we'll get to that playoff picture in a second. Looking at the box score here for the Lakers, AD had 25 points and 12 rebounds, and LeBron had 22 points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds. Looking at the Warriors, Wiggins had 21, Curry had 37 points. Man, he is definitely an MVP candidate. He's not my MVP. I will go over awards once that time comes, but he's not my MVP. He has had an MVP caliber season, and he's had many of those, 3 or 4 in his career, but this is not the year you should get the award. There's other players that have played more games than him and are more valuable to their team. No hate on Curry. He's just not my MVP. But he had an MVP performance tonight, and hopefully he continues that in the playoffs. I definitely think whether he's the 7th or 8th seed, which I think they should be able to beat the Grizzlies. We'll talk about that tonight. Should be able to make the second round, to be honest with you. But yeah, looking at today's game, this is going to be a great game. Pacers, Wizards. Let's see who plays the Sixers, and whoever plays the Sixers out of these two teams, they're going to have a chance, man. They really are. Pacers, a lot of momentum off of the dominant win. And the question is, will LeVert return? They need him for this game. Hopefully LeVert can return. Hopefully McDermott and Brissett can continue to play good for them, and Sabonis obviously putting up all-star performances. Wizards, they struggled as of late, but they need to have a comeback game. Beal and Westbrook out of the playoffs is just bad for NBA, and I really want them to make the playoffs. It's a great rivalry. It's a great rivalry that continues and will probably end for the season tonight. And it will end for the season tonight because one of them will be going home. It's a win-or-go-home situation. It's the last play-in game of the East. The East haven't really been interesting play-in games, but Tatum scored 50. I guess that's the highlight of that one. Okay, we looked at today's action. Now we're going to look at that playoff picture because someone made the playoffs last night. And looking at it, the number 2 Suns are going to play the number 7 Lakers. How do I feel about this? I think the Suns can definitely win this series. I think it'll be a Game 7. I think it'll be a Game 7 series. A 7-game series. It's going to be really interesting. Lakers, I mean, they have LeBron and AD, but I think the Suns have a more consistent lineup, you know. Their first two options, CP3 and Devin Booker. CP3, he's had playoff experiences, he's had playoff heartbreaks, and he wants to get redemption. Devin Booker, Mamba mentality, all-around scorer. He's a clutch player, perfect for the playoffs. Mikal Bridges doesn't miss a shot. If you sit him in the corner, drive and kick with CP3, he's not going to miss a shot very often. DeAndre Ayton, if he plays, I don't know if he's even playing. Great center. He's your traditional big man. He gets down and dirty in the paint and grabs rebounds. I don't even know who their starting power forward is, but off the bench, Cameron Payne and Etuan Moore are really good bench pieces, and the Lakers have like Kuz and THT. Obviously, Schroeder's pretty decent. He's not on the bench, but yeah. But yeah, it's going to be a really interesting series to look forward to. It's going to be an entertaining one. Two teams that are definitely contenders for the ship, and Chris Paul wants to get his first ring, man. We'll see if it happens. Do I think it'll happen? It's a decently low chance, but we will have to see. So yeah, that was the broadcast. I'll see you guys later tonight to talk about tonight's Eastern Conference play-in. I will go over tomorrow's game, and we will look at the playoff picture, see who the Sixers are facing. So yeah, have a good rest of your guys' day. I will see you